the show we crave, bringing wit to the world's big waves. With snarky lines and hearts so bold, every story brightly told. In a world full of dull old facts, newsy news fills in the gaps, chasing stories no one knows, with laughter as the story grows. Music news every night, making walls turn out right. With a candle and a grin, let the fun times begin. Symbols broken with a wink, politics served with a drink, breaking headlines you might miss, wrapped in an ironic twist. They will fun at all the wines.
Absolutely. I have been playing with Sono. So yeah, I'm just trying to freshen things up, get new songs out, do all the YouTube things. Good morning. Thank you, Wolfram, for doing all of your mod stuff. Cynthia Fire 42, thank you. Wicked Wookie. And Christine, good morning. And check out Christine's channel. She does do YouTube, so we can all give each other a help out. And she has some pretty good content. Uh, Wicked Wookie, good morning. I think Wicked Wookie also has a channel. So, yep, Wolfram is doing his mod stuff. Good morning, Zach. Good morning, Alice G. Patrick W., Tammy, and Farrell. Good morning. You're with us. So, our first news story is the most important one, of course. And the superhero we never knew we needed, the girl boss that Disney should definitely make the next movie about, Hak Tua Girl, has already sold $65,000 worth of merch. And I am here for it. I'm just saying, if anyone wants to know what to get me for my birthday, it's the Hak Tua 2024 cap. And check out Zach's channel too. We have a lot of people. I will be starting a Sunday Shenanigans evening stream that'll feed into Shizzy's. We'll see about this week, but definitely that is on the plan. So if anyone wants to come on, I'm going to try to pull crazy news stories from all week, but generally it's going to be kind of like, stabby day. I will have a plan. Whether we stay on plan is, well, ludicrous. Oh my gosh, she can be my running mate. Hand jobs and Hawk Tua for all. If you are new to the channel, there is a video about the hand jobs for our all kind of running joke. I think it is posted under I am sorry micro parenting fail. But if you are not quite sure why everyone keeps talking about hand jobs, that will explain it to you. I am a little bit real and unvarnished. Last night sucked all the donkey things. So I should have probably put that in my description, but it is what it is today. Let's get into this story. When you call Fathead Threads, a Tennessee-based embroidery and apparel company, a deep South inflected twang comes on the voicemail. If you're looking for Hawk Tua hats, head to Facebook, the voice says. The owner of the voice is Jason Potee, who is currently in the bizarre possession of a position of servicing as a brand manager for one of the most famous women in the country right now, a young folksy blonde woman advocating for hawking a loogie during mouth hugging. The now immortal phrase Hak Tua was brand or coined this young woman on June 11th, who made internet history during a Woman on the Street interview with content creators Tim and Dee. In the clip, Welsh was asked an R-rated question about her smexy time preferences, if you will. And what move makes her man go crazy every time? And that's when she decided to utter the immortal line that will live with her forever. So there you go. Over the past week, the clip has gone massively viral and been referenced by everyone from Joe Rogan to Howard Stern to Philly's Bryce Hamper. And though there's plenty display of the Hawk Tuah merchandise circulating on the internet, including the shop from Tim and D itself, there is only one official Hawk Tuah Girl licensed Hawk Tuah member merch vendor, Fathead Threads, a family-owned business based in Marshall County, Tennessee. The brand is run by Potee, a Marshall County native who has known Welsh for years. He tells Rolling Stones that a day or two after the video started going viral, he reached out to a stunned Welch to figure out a way to monetize her brand. Oh no, I hope he's doing okay. Um, Quote, of course, she hasn't gotten a dime from the first viral video that went out, Potee says. No one was asking for permission for her to do nothing, neither. And I just wanted to give her some profit off this deal. Potee declined to share exactly what percentage of the proceeds Welsh is receiving, but he suggested she trademark the phrase, and she's been in touch with a lawyer about it. He also said she currently is represented by an agent, although rumors are that she signed with Powerhouse Hollywood, I guess, corporation UTA. That was a rumor. Potee said Welsh, who did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for an interview, is overwhelmed by the attention and has requested he not share any personal details about her or feature her face on the merchandise. There's some people in this, or there's some crazy people in the world who have reached out to her, she said. She's probably one of the most well-known people in the world at this point, but I don't know if she's embraced it. So far, Potee says Fathead Threads is exclusively selling the Hawk Tuah 2024 hats. They're currently available in 14 colors and selling out for $32.78. A $50 signed version with a leather patch is currently sold out. Look, y'all, don't need to give me a I don't need a leather patch, but $30 for a hat? Ugh. Potee estimates that the shop has sold a little more than 2,000 hats, although he's declined to share exactly how much the company has grossed on her merch. He said it's pretty easy to do the math. For what it's worth, the cheapest hat is $32.78, and that comes out at least $65,000. Our largest orders are usually 100 to maybe 100 hats, maybe 150 to 200 shirts. This is way out of the normal for us. This is a small family owned shop, and we are all hands on deck right now. It could be a blessing or a curse. She might be the right place or the right time or the wrong place or the wrong time. I think she'll do fine in the end. Potee adds, she's exactly how she's depicted on the video. She has a bubbly personality. She can be somewhat risque, and you never know what she's going to say. I feel like I've found a best friend. I just think the world needed a laugh, and she provided that. So there you go. In a blast from the past, and I didn't even know this guy was still alive. I feel a little bit weird because I did watch, well, Bam, Family Drama or whatever. I can't remember what it was on MTV, but Bam Manjura. I can't even remember this dude's name, to be very honest with you, but I'll just call him Bam from now on. Let's see here. He was convicted of or pled guilty to disorderly conduct. He received 6 months probation and random drug testing. Jackass star Brandon Bam pled guilty to 2 counts of disorderly conduct on Wednesday after assaulting his brother and threatening other family members last year. Page 6 can confirm. In return, the 44-year-old reality star was handed 6 months of probation. His lawyer, Michael T. Vander Veen, told us. He will also be subjected to random drug testing, according to the Associated Press. If he fails a drug test, he will reportedly be thrown in prison. He has not aged the best. Viva la Bam. There we go. I knew it was something, but it was like the Kardashians only with well, more head injuries. It was almost too dumb to be on MTV, but they just quite got there. Bam emerged from the Chester County, Pennsylvania courthouse today, a uh, free of misdemeanor charges that could have been leveled against him due to the family dispute in April 2023. Vanderveen added in a statement, "This is basically a noise violation. He really got nothing more than traffic ticket." And thank you, Siri, for gifting one membership, and that went to Patrick W. So thank you for sharing and supporting the channel, Siri. And Patrick W., congratulations on your membership, and give Siri a thanks. Uh, Bam's guilty plea stemmed from a 2-week visit to his family's Chester County, Pennsylvania home in July 2023. While there, he allegedly laid hands on his brother, Jesse, and threatened to force multiply an unidentified family member. He was hit with 1 count of simple assault for the physical altercation, plus 1 count of harassment, and 4 counts of terroristic threats with the intention to terrorize another. However, the terroristic threat charges were dropped during a July 2023 hearing in which Bam's brother explained he did not want his brother getting in trouble. "I just want him to get help because this, I feel, is like our last chance." Jess also described his brother as a good dude when he's not messed up. At the time of the hearing, Bam had been in and out of treatment centers for his addiction issues and was even recently placed on a 5150 psychiatric hold. You guys, drugs can sometimes be bad. Drugs are bad, okay? Following his sentence on Wednesday, Bam told the press his original charges were a blessing in disguise because they helped him turn his life around. Bam also credited his wife, Danny Marie, helping him get his life in check. Okay, I am just going to give you some anti-Mo home down wisdom here because I have in fact visited this zip code, lived here, and got the passport stamp. Ma'am, it is awesome that you are standing by your husband, but you can neither be his, permanent parole officer, and he has to be the reason he gets clean. Um, it's oh, so the t-shirt I figured would be good for Lolly today. It's called Dictum, a noun. When you act like a dick but play like the victim. I don't know. It called to me this morning. I- yeah, I'm not shocked. I do know that as you enter your 40s, it's a little bit harder to do all the fun party stuff that you used to do. I believe I got this one from Hippie Runner. Hippie Runner has the best shirts, and not all of them have curse words, but all of mine do. So there you go. Uh, you got rid of all the D heads and goons and made me stop drinking, got me back into skateboarding, and I cannot thank you enough, he told his bride at their May wedding in New Mexico. So I'm glad he has, a life partner. But again, this is a trap that some people who are very good at being caring, supportive, and, want to see the best in people can get sucked into. Because oh my gosh, it is so incredibly romantic. It is so heady to think you are going to be a person that saves another person, and you aren't. That person has to decide to save themselves. Now, maybe you're the reason they decide to save themselves, but you being a good person and picking all the picture or the pieces up every time someone keeps, struggling, you're never going to be able to do that. He also opened up about how Mary changed his life for the better when announcing their engagement in December 2023. "I've never had a structure before. I always woke up not knowing what to do with the day. I just look across the street, see an Irish pub, and be like, that looks fun," he told Us Weekly. "Now I wake up, walk the dog, stretch, go to the gym, I go skateboarding." So hopefully hopefully this works out for him. Hopefully he is finally ready to make his life change. That would be wonderful. I do believe in redemption, so that'll be wonderful. But S is going to get real in 6 months when those cravings, uh, you know, start happening or some stressful stuff starts happening. So I hope they have the relationship to weather that. But look, I'm trying to be optimistic, but ew. Anyhow, Marilyn Monroe's home is apparently declared a historic landmark after a wealthy heiress and TV reality producer wanted to demolish it. No, we do not take Queen Marilyn's house down. That is not how this works. We have the opportunity to do something today that we should have been done 60 years ago. There's no person or place in the city of Los Angeles as iconic as Marilyn Monroe in her Brentwood home, Council member Tracy Park said before Wednesday's vote. Some of the most world famous images ever taken of her were at that home. On those grounds, her pool, and Marilyn tragically died there, and that forever ties her in a time and place to this very home, Park added. There's likely no woman in history or culture that grabs the imagination of the public quite like Marilyn Manson did, or Marilyn Monroe. But Marilyn Manson also creeped me out, so there you go. Um, Even all these years later, her story still resonates and inspires many of us today. Uh, Fraud at Wrangler. Yeah, yeah. Well, the White House. Not many women can say they've banged the president and the AG, and no shame on her. Like no, sh- s shaming or anything like that. They both were semi-attractive guys. Hey, look, as a person who had to look at John F. Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy's pictures mounted next to the scary Sacred Heart Jesus in my grandma's home, look, they were okay looking guys. They just seemed to be morally bankrupt. Kennedys, don't come after me. I think you've got enough problems with RFK Jr. No problem. I understand, and I'm glad that you got your head on straight and you were able to, grow up and be a mom. That's part of mom is being a mom is you grow into being a mom. It's not a you know everything at the beginning of this when they hand you this little kiddo and you're like, "Hey, this is great. You're sending me home without supervision." To lose a piece of history, the only home that Maryland ever owned, would be devastating blow to historic preservation. And for a city where less than 3% of the historic designations are associated with women's heritage. Oh, for the love of all that is Fazoli's. No, how about she was just a good actress and she was super hot and it doesn't have to be about, I don't know, ladiness. Park also introduced a motion that would evaluate tour bus restrictions on the road leading to the home and surrounding area, looking for a more suitable place for the public to enjoy the new historic site. My team will continue working closely with the community to address any future concerns that may arise, Park said. I also understand that access is an important component of preservation, which is why throughout this process, my team and I have worked closely with property owners to assess potentially moving the home to a place where the public might actually be able to visit and spend time. They are going to move this woman's house, like, for the love of all that is Cheetos. The um potentially moving to so the property was purchased in 2023 by a couple who lived next door for around $8.35 million. Following the acquisition, the couple filed for demolition permits with plans to expand their property, the Post exclusively reported last year. Ooh, I did not know that. But I mean, look, even I would. Marilyn Monroe was blessed with a figure. Let's be honest. And so was James Mansfield. And now let's see, I'm trying to think of an equivalent. We get Angelina Jolie, who looks rather sickly anymore. It's kind of sad. Brianna Milstein and Roy Banks' permit was originally given the green light to enter initial stages of demolition, but was soon paused after the officials learned about the plans. The city temporarily stopped demolition during September 2023 hearing, claiming that the property should be designated a historical cultural monument. The couple filed back in a lawsuit in May, accusing the city of illegally and unconstitutional conduct, using backdoor machinations to fight to save the house, which Roe purchased for $75,000 in 1962. The couple claimed that the city exaggerated Monroe's connection to the house, describing the residence as, quote, the house where Marilyn Monroe occasionally lived for a mere 6 months before she tragically um, self deleted allegedly 61 years ago. KCLAL TV reported. All of these backroom machinations were in the name of preserving a house which in no way meets any criteria for a cultural historical monument, the lawsuit says. The couple allegedly alleged the city had approved dozens of reservations to the home's 14 previous owners, with the current property having nothing left, reflecting Miss Monroe's brief time here 60 years ago, the attorney said. Sheridan also blasted Park's claims that she is working with the owners to plan to move the home. Neither she or her staff have worked closely with the owners throughout the process or any time else to relocate the home and allow for public access, he told the outlet. Tracy Park's actions today and throughout the process, disregarding the interests of her constituents and facts and merits, demonstrate that no one's home or investment are safe. In what a cool kid and what a cool thing to have happened, a 12-year-old kid graduates from high school leaving for college for a double degree. Well, as a twice college dropout, sir, we salute you. 12-year-old uh, Soborno Isaac Bari is graduating from Malvern High School in Malvern, New York, Wednesday, making him the youngest scholar to ever graduate from the history of Nassau County School, according to Malvern Union Free School District. Soborno told Good Morning America that he was excited to graduate and it's been a long journey for him so far, even though the high school senior skipped 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th, and 11th grade, completing his 4th, 8th, 10th, and 12th grades in Malvern's Union Free School District while passing the New York State's Regent examinations to graduate. It's been an absolutely wonderful experience, Soborno said of his high school career. Oh, thank you. Nassau. Okay. So then the one in Florida is Nassau. I am that's it. When I become president, I'm making every town Smithtown, and we're just gonna. If I can't pronounce it, y'all have to change your names. Look, I don't want to be a dictator on everything, but things I can't say have to go. I met so many great people. I've learned a lot, both math and science and other disciplines, but I'm ready to move on and pursue my education to the best of my ability. I am just hoping that Jeffrey, my ability to unpronounce words is completely uh, reliant on the fact that I just don't do phonics. It could be Native American and straight from Indiana. That is a funny story. So my mom moved us from Virginia Beach because when they got divorced, she got a really good job here in Indiana. And when we moved here, now my Indiana people will know, but we have a town called Carmel. And it is, she was like, I need to go to Carmel. And they're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, it's Carmel. And she's like, are you sure about that? So what I'm saying is it's genetic. I can do Poughkeepsie or Poughkeepsie. Yeah, I can do Poughkeepsie. Mostly because I've heard other people say it. Every year, school counselors are asked on behalf of students that are applying to these college to answer a question. What is one of your most exceptional students that you've ever seen in your career? And I can say without any doubts that Saberno is the most exceptional student I've ever met academically. Gottsman said he's a real prodigy. Gottsman said the school district and Bari's family worked together to figure out a tailored plan that would let Saburo take higher level classes but integrate with his peers and develop socially and emotionally. We entered into agreement where he would be allowed to take high school level courses but take them at our middle school. He would come into our middle school as an eighth grader and take core classes. Then, after he took his morning classes, we would put him on the bus and he would take the bus to our elementary school where he could reintegrate with his fifth grade peers, which are the same age peers and participants in fifth grade electives and after school activities. So, I mean, what an awesome story. It looks like these parents are super proud of their kid and working together. And that looks like a bunch of math in the background, which scares me. That's not a word. That's what the Hawk Tui girl says when she wants to be different. That's not a word. I refuse. Saberno said even though he accelerated through classes and split his time, teachers and fellow students embraced him and gave him space to pursue his interest. They treated me like any other high school student, and that's how I really wanted to be treated by the community, the young whiz said. Grossman said Saberno. Well, good on you, JKD Buck. That is awesome. And I am glad that they're taking time to really worry about his social, emotional sort of growth too, because a lot of times you'll see these children that maybe are intellectually very smart, but they were pushed through. And you can tell that that kind of really did inhibit their ability to interact with it. I mean, no 12-year-old is going to understand high school hormones. You know, you're just at that point where you're like, okay, maybe girls aren't gross, but I don't know. So it is nice that they are allowing him to stick with students his own age as well. I think that this hybrid program is really, really good. And I'm glad that the school and his parents were involved enough. Well, I hoped it was a joke, but then I thought, well, if I consider it a joke and you really did, then that would be mean. So so I am really glad that they're letting him also be a kid because I think a lot of times, you know, you can fall into this trap that this child is unimaginably smart, but maybe they need time to just be a kid as well. Grossman said Saberno, who earned a 1500 on the SAT and a 34 on the ACT, took 5 AP classes and has left an indelible mark on the Malvern community as an academic leader and is more than ready to go to college. He's a really wonderful, wonderful young man. He's got inquisitiveness and a thirst for knowledge like nobody I've ever seen, Gottsman said. He's been a joy to work with. The 12-year-old aspires to earn a PhD and become a professor. Saberno is heading to fall as a commuter or in fall as a commuter student to New York University on a scholarship to study for a bachelor's degree in math and physics. Holy fizzolis. Quote, many people are doing it only because their parents said so or because engineers just make the most profit, not because they actually love what they're doing. So I'm hoping to fix that and help other people understand math and science and love it in all its beauty. Oh, what a sweet kid. Honey, you are so sweet and you are so cute, but I am never going to understand math after we added letters to it. So, sweetie, I hope you do a great job. I hope you become a wonderful physics professor, but I will never be in one of your classes. Thank you, Wolfram, for gifting 5 memberships, and those went to Farrell, Zach, Terry B, Bam Bam, and Jennifer W. So, congratulations on those of you that got memberships. Thank you, Wolfram, for supporting the channel. And if you got a membership, be sure to thank Wolfram. I will be working on more members only content. The last 2 weeks have been somewhat of a pain in the behind, and We are just focused on functionality today. Uh, let's see. Do what you do because you like it, because you have the passion you feel when you're describing or doing it. What a smart guy. I mean, look, I didn't take a degree for this, but I love it. I have a passion for it. And if he can make some kid who would be a great physicist, really love numbers and want to do that, then absolutely. I am doing that as soon as this afternoon. Um, Thank you for keeping me accountable, JKD Buck. Good morning, KDP and Star Z. Oh, no, the last day of school, we end in May here, so the tail end of May. So, and yes, Captain Kern, I hope you are healing quickly and swiftly because oh my goodness, I got my eye scratched by a cat once and I had to wear a eye patch. I didn't look as much like Snake Plissket as you do, so good on that. But I hope this little kid grows up and teaches a bunch of other little kids to love math. It won't be me. Injustice against state troopers and justice is what I like because this state trooper was definitely more on the Proctor scale than the Joe Kenda good cop scale. He flipped off a trooper and got charged. Now Vermont is on the hook for $175,000. Vermont has agreed to pay $175,000 to settle a lawsuit uh, on behalf of a man who was charged with a crime for giving a state trooper the only, salute that one can with, one finger erected duly in their direction. Allegedly, but don't do that in Vermont because apparently you'll get pulled over. Uh, in 2018, the state chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union said Wednesday the lawsuit was filed in 2021 by the ACLU of Vermont on behalf of Gregory Bombard of St. Albans. It said Alburn's First Amendment was violated after an unnecessary traffic stop and retaliatory arrest in 2018. Trooper Jay Riggin stopped Bombard's vehicle on St. Albans on February 9th, 2018, because he believed that Bombard had showed him the middle finger, according to the lawsuit. Bombard denied that, but said he did curse and display the middle finger once the initial stop was concluded. Gregory was stopped again and arrested on a charge of disorderly conduct, and his car was towed. He was jailed for over an hour and cited to criminal court. According to the ACLU, the charge was eventually dismissed. Under the settlement signed by these parties, the state agreed to pay Bombard $100,000 and $75,000 to the ACLU. No, ACLU, this is actually your job. This is what you're supposed to be doing. I know that you're usually out there trying to make sure that us scary, people that go to church and, just maybe have values that don't align with you are all terrible, terrible people. But ACLU, this is actually your job. You shouldn't have to get paid when the government already props you up and you're a freaking NGO. Stop it. While our client is pleased with this outcome, the incident should have never taken place or should have never happened in the first place, said Hillary Rich, staff attorney for the ACLU of Vermont, in a statement. The police need to respect everyone's First Amendment rights, even for things they consider offensive or insulting. Vermont State Police did not have a comment on the settlement. Vermont did not admit to any wrongdoings as part of the deal. Gregory said in a statement provided by the ACLU that he hopes Vermont State Police will train its troopers to deal with, getting a little bit of the piss taken out of it. Oh, awesome. I know I need to set up a merch store. I have all of these goals and you know what is so absolutely just, I mean, infuriating if you're me, is that I will have like an entire month or even 6 weeks of of doing pretty well, like I'm getting my momentum on my walking pad, and then I will just absolutely have a really bad week or 2 weeks, and it's like, ugh. So, hopefully I get another patch of 6 really good weeks, and then I can do everything else. In Thank you so much, Starzy. Uh, that is greatly appreciated. I was going to wear the Bev wig and do all the Bev things today, but that will probably be tomorrow. Uh, it is just getting up out of bed. And you know what? Some days that's generally okay. When you deal with chronic pain, when you deal with stuff, I am learning to give myself grace on days where, hey, I'm wearing a funny t-shirt and I put my hair up in a ponytail and that oh, so it says, let me go full screen and it's dictum. When you act like a dick and then you play the victim. I figured it was kind of it I mean, honest to goodness, uh, it seemed like the right shirt for Lolly, and I just when I touched it, I got that little tingle of destiny when you pick the right shirt for the right engagement. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is great. Let's get back to the news. Although I do have all of the dumb t-shirts that I will be coming back with. I love a sarcastic t-shirt. Jury recommends the death penalty for an ex-prison guard trainee who murdered 5 women in a Florida bank. So, of course he was Florida man. I mean, are we shocked? A on Wednesday recommended a former prison guard trainee be sentenced to death for his execution-style murders of 5 women inside a Florida bank 5 years ago, a massacre that fulfilled his long-stated desire to unalive people. I mean, ugh. Yes, it is, Val. I'm going to start talking about Smexy books if we don't get out of here. I feel like we're being held hostage by the state of Massachusetts, and I don't like it. Who do I need to call to get this jury to move it on up? Jurors voted 9-3 to recommend Zephin Xavier received the death penalty for a January 23rd, 2019 unalivings at SunTrust Bank in Sebring, about 85 miles southwest of Tampa. Now, this is a change. I think we remembered after the Nicholas Cruz, this is the only time I'm going to say his name because he's such a dumpster human. But after that case, when the jury was not unanimous with the death penalty, they changed the law, and now it can be a majority to get to a capital punishment. So I don't know that this will not start out with, I mean, usually and generally, the track is if you are given a capital punishment, it immediately leads to an automatic appeal. So I don't know if the changing of the law will be something that goes all the way up to the federal Supreme Court, but I think this is going to be something that may be a big story to watch because I am not sure with these sort of not unanimous juries if this isn't going to be something that can be taken to the federal court. Now, as always, I am not a lawyer, and I've only gotten through the first Post-it note, and what Daryl Brooks promises me will be a complete compendium of U.S. laws. His Daryl Brooks lawful law, encyclopedia will be coming out in the next, 50 to 60 years, I'm sure. And then I will know everything. Xavier, 27, stared straight ahead and showed no emotion as the verdicts were read after Highlands County jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. The final decision rests with Circuit Judge Angela Cowden, who could reject the jury's recommendation and sentence Xavier to life in prison without parole. She said she will be setting a sentencing date after a hearing in 1 month. Under a 2023 Florida law, a jury has only to vote 8-4 favoring death penalty for Cowden to impose a sentence. The state law required a unanimous jury recommendation for a judge to impose death, but Governor Ron DeSantis and the legislature changed it after a 9-3 jury voted to spare, Nicholas his life. Xavier pled guilty last year to 5 counts of first-degree murder, negating a trial planned that had been delayed by the coup and legal arguments and attorney illness. Xavier's victim included customer Cynthia Watson, 65, just married less than a month, bake teller coordinator Marisol Lopez, 55, a mother of 2, banker trainee Anna Pignon Williams, a 38-year-old mother of 7. It is interesting to see people that outrank me in kiddos because I'm like, 7 kids? And I'm like, wait a minute, that's almost me. Bank teller Deborah Cook, 54-year-old, a mother of 2 and a grandmother, and banker Jessica Montag, 31, and a mother of 1 and a stepmother of 4. He ordered them to lie on the floor and then shot each of them as they cried, why? Never mind. Send this guy to Snake Island. Lord Chippy awaits, you absolute douche canoe. Valhalla, I swear to all that is holy and unholy, all that is hoodness and goodness, if I end up pregnant this year because you keep putting this schniz out into the universe, I am suing you for paternity. I'm not even going Laura Owens. I'm just gonna say he kept putting a curse on me of fertility, and I am done. No, he doesn't. He just continues to be the one person who is who is like, you're gonna end up pregnant again. And I'm like, would you stop it? Let's see. Earlier this Wednesday, prosecutor Bond Johnson said in the closing arguments that Xavier deserved the death penalty because the massacre was long planned, shockingly evil, and he fulfilled his year-long desire to experience killing. He didn't murder one person to truly know what it would be like to unalive someone. He killed 5. He watched them lying on the floor. They were under his control for his enjoyment. And oh, yes, there is. It's called being spayed and neutered. We can do everything I want. I'm just kidding. Mr. Mo's going to be like, for the love of all that is Cheetos, did you really say that on the internet? And I'm going to say, have you met me before? I am so sorry, Tammy, for your loss. It's so hard. And Hey Joe is right. I definitely thought I was going to have a large family, but I was going to have 5-year gaps in between. I was maybe going to be having my last child now, a family of 4, but it can happen. And you know what? Everyone's family is the perfect size. But a defense attorney, Jane McNeil, had urged jurors to spare Xavier, saying he is mentally ill. He has been hearing voices since childhood, urging him to hurt himself and others. He sought help, she said, but he never truly got it. We ask you to show Zephan what he may least deserve: compassion, grace, and mercy, McNeil told her panel, her voice breaking as she said sentencing Zephan to life is the right thing to do. During the 2-week trial, prosecutors portrayed Xavier as a cold, calculated killer who pretended to hear voices to cover for his violent impulses. His attorneys countered his long-suffering psychotic episodes. In 2014, Xavier's high school principal in Indiana contacted the police after he told a counselor of dreaming of unaliving his classmates. His mother, Misty Hendricks, promised to get him psychological help. She testified at trial. She had stopped his medications at 17 because he seemed to be doing better. He joined the army but was discharged during boot camp in 2016 because of homicidal thoughts. It's all I can think about, all I hear every day, all I see every day. It's all I smell, taste every day. Blood, death, and murder. It's all I have happening 24/7, Xavier wrote a friend. He made similar postings online. He moved to Sebring in 2018 and was hired by the local prison, but quit after 2 months. That was the day after he bought his force multiplier and 2 weeks before the massacre. Hey, you know what? I was Celestial Force. I was a high school freshman and senior when my mom had my little brother and little sister. So it is really, really weird, but it's also kind of cool. And and a bonus for my mother. And look, she would never say this out loud, but my mother is super athletic, like athletically gifted. She's just very coordinated. And she unfortunately ended up with me as a daughter, a person that can barely climb stairs and chew gum and breathe at the same time while battling gravity. So my little sister has has honest to God really good athletic talent. So I am glad my mother finally got someone that she could teach a cartwheel without giving her a black eye. It is so I am glad she finally got that because I do feel like they are able to more easily communicate than I think my mom and I were because we just don't have similar interests about all things all the time. I was much more of an indoor cat kind of kid. She does, but she loves me very much, but she's deeply confused about me often. What question? Oh, have I made my appointment yet? No, I'm making it this afternoon. I, for some reason, asked. Uh, but I will be making that. I just have to double check with Mr. Mo what days and weeks he will be available. But there you go. Fraud at Wrangler, thank you for 5 memberships that you've gifted. And those went to Star Z, Miss K. Griff, Tom Cartwright, Ezra's Art Atelier, I think, or Attiller. I don't know. To be honest with you, not the greatest at vocab. And congratulations for those of you that got the membership. Thank you, Fraud at Wrangler, for gifting those. And give Fraud at Wrangler a thanks if you got one of those memberships. That was probably one of the cats. To be honest, they hide out in here to get away from the youngest, most feral sometimes because he will carry them around like Elmira from the Animaniacs, maybe, where she's like, I love you and you're my friend. And the cat's desperately just trying to escape. The morning of the executions, he had a long text message conversation with a girlfriend telling her that it would be the best day of his life, but refused to say why. He finally told her just before entering the bank that he was about to be deleted or died. Oh, yeah, if you let me know how it works, those, biofeedback things were just really expensive, and I will say that it kinda scared me. I don't know what about okay, we're just going full screen because we are full story time today, but I don't know what it is about this face that makes people wanna share maybe things they shouldn't, because the first and only biofeedback guy I ever talked to launched into about a 30-minute explanation about how he was able to use the power of his mind to dilate, and I shit you not, he has never talked to me before. You are my favorite turds. I would not lie to you. He talked about how he was able to dilate his own ureter to pass kidney stones because of the force of biofeedback. And I am simply trying to get into this, what has become a hostage situation on the phone, because I never will be able to see this man without thinking about his ureter. And I have a great mental imagination, and all I can see him is in a bunch of stirrups, you know, just absolutely, the most ridiculous mental image. And I am still on this phone for about 35 minutes as this man talks about delivering his kidney stones. And I am just like, so I get off the phone and I call Mr. Mo and I was like, what about my face slash voice slash whenever I talk to people gives them the idea that I wanna hear about their ureter? I just need to know because this is not the first time that this has happened to me. Um, if it's in the brain, that should be good, but I did try the spinal stimulator, and that was no bueno. No bueno. Yeah, he was a Jedi. I think he was a Sith because he tried to torture me with that story. Um, he finally told her just before and then he added the fun part about the unaliving, that he was about to do, but I'm taking a few people with me because I've always wanted to delete a person, he texted. Afterward, Xavier threatened self-deletion, but eventually surrendered. Defense witnesses testified that Xavier was a quiet, kind child, but struggled in school and took a dark turn in adolescence. Melissa Manges, his high school counselor, testified that Xavier wanted more extensive help for his disturbing thoughts, but no long-term residential programs accepted him. The system failed Zephin. No, the system did not. There is a will, there is a way. You see your child dealing with, and it must have been torture for his mom to know that her child, in his mind, he was locked up a prisoner of all these violent thoughts, if it was real, allegedly. But if you're a mom and you see this, then you don't stop fighting. He wasn't in this residential area. Well, maybe there's another place in the country. Maybe we have a cousin who lives somewhere. I No, no. The system did not fail this man. This man failed 5 other people. And I am so doggone beyond flippin' full F deficit, can find no dams to be had about how all these people had a terrible childhood. Well, you know what? A lot of us don't have a rosy, summery childhood. We don't. But we don't then take that BS that we were handed and then pile it onto other people because it's called being an adult. It's called, you know, becoming a shield rather than a sword. Your darkness can harden you and make you prickly and hateful and, violent, or you can become a shield. So you know exactly what it feels like to be hurt and you don't want anyone else to go through it. And then some people are just full-blown sociopath and should be just kept away from us because they understand right and wrong, they just give no Fs. Brian Haas, a local state attorney, welcomed the verdict but said in his statement that the focus should be on the victims, not the monster who committed these crimes. 5 women who were mothers, daughters, sisters, wives, and so much more to so many people had their lives cut short on that faithful day in January 2019. Their families have suffered so much without them while they waited for this justice. So I'm glad that the family finally got this. Even if we took him to the center of town and did what, capital punishment, old fashioned style, it's not going to change anything. But if this will give those families just a minute more of peace, then I'm fine. Oh, no worries. Horses, fur babies, family, all that stuff comes first before YouTube. In another human dumpster fire story. A man killed two gas station clerks for lottery tickets he hoped would give him enough money for an apartment. Now, there's these weird things. They're called, let me look up Sarah Boone's Webster's Dictionary, flip through pages, and yeah, it's called a gerb. No, job? Gerb? They give you money if you work. And yeah, I get it. Jobs are, not so great right now. The, cost of living is growing up, but or going up and everyone is struggling. Even people that used to, shop at Target had to, break down and go buy some great value stuff. But that doesn't mean you get to take somebody's or two people's lives for doggone, an apartment. Seriously. A Texas man allegedly admitted to killing two gas station clerks in separate shootings over 24 hours in the Dallas area for lottery tickets for a new apartment. Lottery tickets for a new apartment. So you didn't even know if you got winners. Yeah, okay. Devonte Devontia Mathis, 21. Is it a male or a female? Okay. Devonta Mathis, 21, faces 2 counts of capital murder in the deaths of Mohammed Hussain, 61, and Gopi Krishna Desari, 32, authorities said. Now, I believe that these are capital murder cases because in Texas, if you have aggravating factors, I do believe if you are attempting to do another felony, I think that capital murder is considered equivalent to felony murder or things like this. It's just a higher standard and means that they could pursue the death penalty if they wanted to, I believe. But I'm not a Texas licensed, legalologist, so take that with a grain of salt. Mathis is accused of fatally shooting Hassan Thursday around 11 p.m. at Jack's Fuel in Mesquite, the Mesquite Police Department said in a news release. Citing an affidavit, CBS Dallas affiliate WFAA reported the suspect in a hoodie and bandana walked to the register, shot the clerk, and then grabbed lottery tickets before taking off. The police found Hussein suffering multiple gunshot wounds and he passed away at the hospital. Police surveillance video from the store captured detailed information about the shooter's vehicle. About 25 hours later, on June 22nd, at 12:30 a.m., Mathis is accused of fatally shooting Desari at a Fox gas station in Dallas. Mathis allegedly entered the store, approached the counter, and shot Desari, Dallas police said in a news release. A terrified witness called 911. NBC's Fort Worth affiliate KXAS reported, "I heard gunshots. I froze for a second because I didn't know what was happening," the witness said. The station reported. Within 50 minutes after Desari was killed, a Mesquite officer on routine patrol spotted a vehicle that fitted the description of one seen in the surveillance video at the shooting of Hassan, and arrested Mathis in pursuit after he ran away, basically. Mesquite Police Sergeant Curtis Phillip told Fox Dallas Fort Worth affiliate KDFW they were gruesome crimes. It's pretty heinous in the sense that neither clerk appears to have been given the opportunity to comply, he said. Mathis allegedly admitted to the killing, saying he shot Hussein because he didn't want him to run out and call the police, and shot Desari because they did not have lottery tickets. So a man lost his life because they didn't have lottery tickets. He allegedly told police he stole a truck used in the crimes and bought the force multiplier from a man off the streets for $400. It's almost like I know this is weird, but it's almost like these violent safety laws aren't particularly respected by criminals. And have fun, feed the goats. You should watch Valhalla. He has goats too. He has all of his goats. We're going to do a kid exchange, I think. I'm just kidding. And Fraudit, good luck. Have content. Get that out. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate everyone showing up before they have to do chores or feed the furry overlords that we all surrender to. Mathis is being held in a Dallas County jail with bond set at 12.5 million, online booking records show. Mourners, meanwhile, remember Dasani, who recently came to the United States on a work visa. He leaves behind a wife and a 1-year-old child in India. A GoFundMe page is set up by his cousin. Quote, as a close knit family, we are devastated by this shocking event, and we are doing everything we can to support his family. Gopi's passing has left an immeasurable void in the lives of his family and friends. Again, this guy is absolutely welcome to go on to Snake Island. You shot a guy because they didn't have lottery tickets, you absolute jerk face. In our final story, look, again, not a fan of avocados, but a sad news for some people. A truck spilling 8 tons of avocados onto a California highway. Traffic was snarled for several hours on a California highway when a truck overturned and spilled its load of avocados on the road. The California Highway Patrol Redmond City Office said a truck carrying 8 tons of avocados overturned on Highway 110 in San Mateo and spilled its content of superfood on the northbound lanes just before 4 a.m. The crash did involve 2 other vehicles, but no serious injuries were reported, Chip said. The Chip said it took several hours to upright the truck and clear the avocados out of the roadway. All lanes of traffic were reopened at 9:30 a.m. and apparently everyone gets free avocados for smoothies if you like them. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I wish I could like avocados. I wish I didn't have such a thing against green, really green tasting food. And I know that sounds weird, but I can taste the green in avocados, and celery should be outlawed. But now that I've said those 2 completely controversial things, I am going to send you guys over to Baker. I will be over there in a couple minutes. I'm going to rotate some laundry, make sure that people are doing their chores, and then I will be back for a cross stitch and verdict wait. As long as you've got Coke Zero, Godspeed. Jude, I got the email. I will say last night I wasn't functioning very well, so I will be looking through that this morning as I am functioning a little better. But thank you for sending that, and thank you, Cynthia, retired firefighter, for the Lord Chippy thing. I am working on a Lord Chippy song, so we will have stingers with sound soon. But thank you all for watching. Thanks for joining. And I will see you guys in just a little bit over at Baker's. So have a great day if I don't see you again. And we will play it by ear for tonight and just see how it goes. I will be sure to let you guys know either way. If we are having nightly newsy news, I think we'll be okay. But I am keeping it out there. So, well, the kind that makes circus freaks. To be fair, we wouldn't have, the really blue people from West Virginia or, the Habsburg chin. Look, I like oddities in all their presentations. So it gave us Lobster Boy. It gave us sideshows, and I'm kind of okay with it. But I'm a weirdo. Incest is not good. There you go. The more you know sign flashes before me. I will see you guys in a little bit. Have a great day. Bye.